Live from 304 Studios in Jonesboro, Arkansas. This is an STSPod.club production. I'm BT, and right over there is RynoJB with a 3D t-shirt. So anyone who wants a 3D shirt, we are selling them now on eBay. So go to... No, I'm just kidding.
Some good
Man,
material here.
that is. I don't know what's going on. That would probably make me. Does it do it in person, or is it just doing it because of the cam?
Just the camera. I think the stripes are causing a little bit of an illusion for the webcam, but in person, it looks even better because you see me.
Oh, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? All right, today, the TupeloCon. Today at Tupelo Furniture Market, it's got Rockero Express, K-Tumor, Austin Lane, Gun Show, Trace, Hunt, tons of people, and a special 5-star showcase. And let me say something, Rhino. Here's a spoiler. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Oh.
The last time they were at TupeloCon, they did a 5-star showcase and ended up with Dustin Star Wrestling.
Uh-oh.
He mentioned that he may be coming back to the ring at the TupeloCon. So spoiler alert.
Ooh, wow.
Today, it is a TupeloCon. Best of the best, we released episode 2. It was Kurt Angle against Chris Benoit. Benoit's been in the news recently, so there you go. There's a good match, and Austin Lane and I tear it apart psychology-wise. We have a huge Patreon giveaway this month. Join for $5, and it's a bunch of action figures, stuff from B&B Collections. There is a legend figure of Stone Cold, some Funko Pops of Edge, and an exclusive Rock Funko Pop was only in one store. I can't remember the store it was in. And we also have a very rare Dusty Rhodes t-shirt that goes out to the winner. So it's all about the legends this month. Dude, man, let's get started. It's fun Saturday as always. We do hits, misses, MVPs, question of the week. Fun question of the week, by the way. What do you look forward to the most on next week's show and must see? Let's get started. Hits, brother, hits.
My hits this week start off with Mike Anthony as he continues his reign of destruction and terror by attacking Big John Dalton at the beginning of the show. BT, this was absolutely insane, but it also reminded me of old school Memphis wrestling that I used to watch with my grandmother. I know usually you make those comments as you're more familiar, but for me, I was getting that feeling with starting the show with this, going into the crowd, getting the crowd so involved there. Big John Dalton sitting in the crowd, getting attacked. Loved it. And then you had Gun Show come through, play hero. But I got to say, Gun Show, Mike Anthony, this long-term booking here, BT, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Usually around this hour, I'm like, okay, I've seen enough of these guys. But the way that they've been booked this entire time over the past year, it's becoming more and more interesting. This, in my opinion, the greatest rivalry in Memphis wrestling is between Gun Show and Mike Anthony. And Mike Anthony's selling is incredible. The way he sells the moves, absolutely second to none. We saw Mackenzie Morgan backstage with the backstage report featuring Nix. I like that. Huge fan. We saw the return of Shalance, who's been killing it on AEW Dark versus Rebel Kell. Rebel Kell got a huge win there. Jimmy Blaylock, I got to say, a legend. BT, this guy every time. I don't think I can think of one time where he came out and cut a bad promo. On the mic, he is amazing. I know you only want to see him once an episode, but I think I want to see more Blaylock, man. I'm letting you know. Colton Cage defeated.
All right, just so everybody knows, I'm looking for a new co-host. All
right, maybe one time. All right. Colton Cage defeated Kid Wrestling, and after the defeat, Colton Cage was like just a superb performance. I've been a huge fan of him for a while now. That missile drop kick from the top, absolutely amazing. And then throwing money at the end of the match. BT, I'm trying to go ahead and start training for wrestling just to lose to Colton Cage, if that's how you lose.
There you go. There you go.
Gosh. Brad and Uncle Mikey went against the Posse in this one in the main event, which was an incredible tag team match. I love them hiding behind Superfan Lewis. Shout out to Lewis in the crowd, helping Brad and Uncle Mike skim the horns. However, they fell short. The Posse won again. And I just want to say, I think this is some of the Posse's best work. They are killing it as heels. Simon is incredible on the mic. I believe he's always been the mouthpiece of the group, but he's just doing a phenomenal job on the mic. And Lil Chris, his presence is no longer, Senor Chris, Mr. Chris.
That's right, Mr. Chris.
No longer the personality of Little Chris, and I'm just loving what they're doing here. And those are my hits of the week.
All right. Very start there, Mike Anthony. What I really liked about Mike Anthony, the promo and beating up Big John and all that, is that we left the program with King Cobra and that big angle at the end last week. We start out, Mike Anthony coming right out saying, "Oh, you remember last week, blah, blah, blah." And then they showed a clip at the very beginning. Loved it. He went after Big John. Big John, why were you sitting in the crowd? You knew Mike would go after you. Come on. Gun Show finally makes the save. The girls' match was fun, real quick, entertaining. Both of them are entertaining girls, so I put the girls' match down there. Love the assistants. You didn't even say anything about if Derek loses, he will be the assistant of Van Vicious. Love that. It's been done before, but love it. That Colton Cage missile drop kick. Awesome for the win. I love the money too. Skims and Posse. Go back and watch that match, guys, if you want to learn some tag team psychology. It's hot tag, and then they cut them off. It's called double heat. Double heat, and a Posse used to do take double heat all the time when they were young, and they would just get beat up, get a hot tag, get beat up some more, make the final hot tag, and crowd would go crazy. So good stuff. And at the very end, we have the Gun Show calls out Mike Anthony. He wants Mike Anthony. And we have Marty Mark cutting a promo. That is a promo that Money Mark's cut on this show many times and has done it a lot around the area. And then we finished it with what I call the triple power bomb on the table. Poor Gun Show, man. Gun Show and tables. He's man, just don't get near a table, Gun Show, because you're gonna get put through it. That's all I can say. All right, what was your misses?
Well, really, in all honesty, I didn't have many, like always. I really enjoyed this entire show, though. But for my misses this week, I believe in the tag team match, I don't think a tag was made. I could be wrong. I wasn't able to go double check, but I think that towards the end there, they got the wrong man. And I could be wrong. I'm going to go back and watch. But I wrote it down. Another thing for me that was a miss was actually Derek King accepting. What does Derek King get if he wins the match with Van Vicious?
He gets a win.
Well, I mean, he needs to talk to the championship committee for the match if that's all he's getting as a win. But to put his services on the line, it just doesn't seem like it's worth it to me. There's no reason for him to do this. He can get the match. The match will happen. But I guess if he wants him that bad right now, he'll do anything to make it happen. So I guess that's where he's going with there. And that is me for the misses.
Just a few misses. I hate seeing those empty chairs when they're doing an angle, and there was at the very front. There's empty chairs sitting there. I'm assuming the people didn't get in them quick enough before the show started. I just hate that. I hate empty chairs. There was a cut during the Dalton getting beat up where he had a gray shirt on, and then he didn't have a gray shirt on. So I don't know what happened there. I want to say it was not part of my hits because I wanted to say the mic only messed up twice, and that was during the Hollywood Jimmy Blaylock interview and Mark's interview, Money Mark's interview. Just a little bit of that's all.
Yeah.
The music and the sound was perfect during the whole when Dustin was talking during Colton Cage's music. If you go back and listen, that is a perfect mix, guys. Perfect mix. So I should have put that as a hit, but I wanted to talk about it being a miss also. Vicious called DK an old timer. Oh, so what happens if he beats you, Vicious? You know, I say this all the time. I got on to Austin Lane for doing it one time, and someone else saying, don't call them old timers. Don't call them losers. Don't call them they can't beat you, because when they do beat you, it looks bad on you. That was it, man. That was all my misses. I don't like seeing empty chairs. Even there were some bleachers there that had no people in them. Either when they were doing the skimming horns, no people in them. I guess that's correct. They were empty. How's that? That sounds better. But there's ways of putting the camera down or lighting. it must, it's one of those things you have to do last minute, and maybe they didn't have the last minute. But where the chairs are there and they're doing an angle, all people are going to say, well, they don't even have no people in there. But other than that, really, really good show. Sound really, really improved. So that was my only misses. All right, how about the MVP?
My MVP this week is going to be the Posse. The Posse, to me, has really showcased range with what they do in the ring and out the ring. So they're my MVP this week.
MVP, the Posse going. Simon and Mr. Chris, longtime friends of mine. I've known them for a long, long time, but I can't give them the MVP. I got to give it to the man, Mike Anthony, who I give it to a lot. But here's the deal. He has the dominance. That's what this show shows.
Sure does.
He has a dominance that now will make you ask. We were saying that maybe the Gun Show could beat him, maybe Swole could beat him, but really you're going to keep asking yourself who can beat him. He's got all these people that are around him now with Money Mark, and so it's like he could be champion forever, and he just keeps doing stuff. So a huge dominance, big MVP goes to Mike Anthony and the Posse for JB. All right, question of the week. It's question of the week, and it is for JB and I. Here we go. All right, JB, this is an interesting question from Yo Mama 98. Yo Mama 98 to BT and JB. Have you guys ever considered doing another podcast not on Memphis Wrestling? So have we ever, as a duo, considered? Let me answer this real quick. We've never talked about that. That's maybe a great idea. We have a successful podcast. You have visited us during Dynamite, I think, one time, and did it. But I know what you're going to say, but I'm going to tell everyone else you're very, very busy, man, and doing Twitch, which you can put over your channel when you talk. And me, I put out so many other podcasts that it's almost, and me and you do a podcast more than anyone else does on my network. We do 4 shows a week. 4 shows a month or 5 shows a month. And I want to tell y'all a secret. We sometimes have the hardest time deciding when we can get together.
Yeah.
Secret. Let me get you behind the scenes. We don't always record on Saturday. It just goes out on Saturday. So we have a hard time for that. So I don't know if we could ever do a regular podcast on something other than Memphis Wrestling. But give your thoughts on that. That's question, though.
I love doing this podcast because I learned so much about wrestling from you and this entire audience, especially when they approach us at Memphis Wrestling. It's something that I would love to do, but like you said, our schedules are very hectic. I know for me, mine is getting crazier and crazier by the day, but it's something that I would be more than happy to be a part of. If not that, I would love to be a special guest on the STS pod, baby. Come on, that's where it's at right there.
Yeah, you did. We had a really good time the first time that JB and I ever talked. I think this is really funny. This is episode 73. The first time we ever talked was when I brought you onto the podcast. So it was we kind of messaged back and forth on Twitter, but that was it. So for us to be, and this is really I consider a successful podcast. It always gets huge numbers. Thanks to Memphis Wrestling, and thanks to, you had a following, I have a following, we put them all together, boom. Thanks for the question. It got me to thinking, and I always have a bunch of crazy ideas and throw a bunch of them against the wall, but that may be something me and JB talks about in the future. So I got another question of the week to you, JB, but you know what? I'm going to make that a Patreon question. So I'm going to actually tease it. I've got another question, but question of the week air right here, 501-232-1701. You can call in. We don't have anyone. No one has ever done this. We'll call in and we'll answer it. We'll play the question. Our STS Pod Club at gmail.com.
Someone's calling in, I guarantee it.
Someone needs to. Someone needs to call in.
Someone's calling in. I guarantee it, BT. I guarantee it. It's happening.
All right. remember TupeloCon today. And next week, what do we look forward to about next week's show?
Excuse me. Oh, no, oh man, I'm caught up. BT. Oh man. Derek King versus Van Vicious for me. Sorry for me to get that one out. But yeah,
that will be a good match. I want to know what happens with the gun show. He's still laying there under that table. And I'm excited about what gun show. And Anthony, you said something about that long-term booking. I had someone I was talking to. I had two people message me this week. No, I had 3 people message me just about the gun show, Mike Anthony, and the story, and how they thought it was one of the better stories, and they named, gun show, Big Swole. I can't remember who else they named as the top 4 guys in the company. And then they said that it's a long-term story that keeps giving you what you want, even though Mike might venture off and do this, gun show may venture off and do something else. It's there and it's not boring. So I thought that, and then I had somebody say, you can't put Mike against Brett Michaels again. And I said, I disagree. You got 2 guys, a guy like Mike Anthony, who hasn't. Brett Michaels has not settled the score yet. So yeah, we can still have that. We can still have that happen. So big time. I also got a message from a fan that was there. Something we talked about last week. They said that Brad was okay from that bump. So it was just a bump on the head, and he was okay. So good deal. All right, here we go. Must see for the week.
For me, I got 2 Skimmerhorns versus the Posse and the triple powerbomb at the end of the show to Brett Michaels. Both of my must see this week.
My must see is going to be the triple powerbomb at the end there. The Shield powerbomb. I guess that's what we should call it. The Shield powerbomb ending the show, starting at the time that Mark walks out, or that Brett Michaels walks out and says, come on, all the way to the powerbomb. So ending of the show is must see, guys. Just to let you know, we'll be here, same bad time, Saturday, 1 p.m., same bad channel. And guess what, JB? This was episode 613, brother.
Wow.
613. We keep it rolling, at least 2 episodes a week. Best little wrestling podcast in the business. Be there. And as everyone knows, I love my mama.
Me too.